Hey everyone, July 29th here on a Wednesday night. Nice morning in Vegas. Let's go over a little of the baseball slate today and give out. We only got 2 games on the slate today that we're betting, so let's give out both of them today. Let's start the day with some of the morning games. Miami Marlins against Philly. Miami's finally turned around that cold streak, won 2 in a row, which is nice to see for the future that I have. Like I said, in the previous videos, even with that cold streak, it's like hopefully they got that out of the way at the right time, and this is when they get things going again, like they have for most of the season. They're only a game out of the wild card, which is great, and I think the NL is, like I said, pretty top heavy, with the Brewers and the Dodgers being the pretty much dominant teams in my opinion, but I still feel that they are beatable. Where the AL is obviously completely wide open, which a future bet that I made and posted in Winnable was Astros at 25-1 to win the AL, and it's already down to 15-1. So the value, we already peaked, great value on that. And let's go over these games. So I'm not betting the Marlins Phillies game. I hope obviously the Marlins win. They are a great price. Around plus 148-ish, but I'm staying away from that game today. Another game we could talk about in the morning would be the Orioles-Tigers. Talk about two teams that are just, it's like who knows what to think out of either one of them. Both teams are probably not making the playoffs unless something drastically changes. Scoop Ball is pitching today. Could this be his last game in a Tiger uniform? It very well could be. It's one of those games that for me that's completely tough to touch. Yesterday Detroit put up 14 runs. Orioles didn't score. It's everyone. I'm sure that the public is all over Detroit, but that is definitely not a lock or by any means a good value bet in my opinion, especially at minus 180, 175-ish. Depending on what your books are seeing. But, the value is definitely not taking in Detroit. If anything, the value is taking the Orioles. Orioles have been decent, relatively decent. They're 10 games out of the division, which, in my opinion, they have no shot to win the division. They're 2.5 games out of the wild card. Detroit's 3.5. They are both on that borderline area, but, I just feel like the Yankees will, which they are 7-3 in their last 10, will make that little push. And I don't think Boston's going anywhere. I think Boston, I don't think will win the AL East. But, I think they will be the 1 or 2 seed in the wild card. And I think, Boston, like I said, with Houston, is just as good as anyone when it comes to getting hot and the way they've been playing consistently. And Houston, I do think will win that division, though. I think Houston will win the AL West. They're 1 game out of Texas, so, we'll see what happens in that. But back to the Detroit-Orioles game, I have no opinion on that. If I had to make a bet, it would be a small bet on the Orioles at plus the number, because Screwball could pitch a great game, go out of the game tied 1-1, 0-0. And, Orioles then stack in the runs and win the game. So, staying away from that. We got the doubleheader in New York, the Braves and Mets. Again, another game where it's just the Mets. What are they? They really are almost calling it a day at this point. What will they do with the trade deadline? We got the doubleheader in New York, the Braves and Mets. Again, another game where it's just the Mets. What are they? They really are almost calling it a day at this point. What will they do with the trade deadline? Will they get rid of any players to, reboost for next year, especially with, trying to figure out something, because obviously whatever they did, with signing Soto, they thought Soto was the big missing piece. Alfonso is who they never should have got rid of. And it's amazing that he went to Baltimore. That was a horrible decision by the Mets, but The Mets have made some pretty bad decisions, but with the new owner, Steve Cohen, I'm surprised that they would make that decision. But we move on. The one day game that we are going to bet is the Brewers and Giants, and like I said in the beginning of this program, as I said, the Brewers were definitely the best, at least the second best team probably in baseball. They're talented. They're dangerous. They're tough. Giants with Webb. Webb didn't have a great start last start. I'm not a buyer on Webb at all this year. He had a great last year, but I think the Brewers are definitely they want to take the series. They don't want to lose the series to the Giants. Dorham, he pitched a solid outing. He's been pitching solid all year. Not the greatest outing last outing, but it was right before the All-Star break. Probably had a little bit of excited to get a little downtime, and that just mentally happened. Probably mentally wasn't as there as he should have been, but I think he'll get back going today, and I think the Brewers bats will be alive in the great day weather in San Fran. So we're gonna lay a 1.25 with the Brewers, which I think is great value compared to what they're normally priced at. And then to wrap things up, we're gonna go with a one-night game, and the night game is a price that is pretty high for normally what I look for, but it's right on the number, and we're gonna go with the Red Sox. They've just been incredible. There's no other way to put it. Their streaks are been good. I was a little nervous last time when they finally did break that streak, how they were gonna perform, and they right away won the next game, and I'm pretty confident they will get things going tonight in Oakland or in Sacramento where the A's play, soon to be Vegas. But they're minus 155. Again, it's a little higher than I normally look at, but they should be minus 200. The value is at 155. And I'm sure that game will get bet up. It is a later game. Most people betting, they look at just the morning slate, when you got to look at the whole slate and get everything in, early on. So we're going to the Red Sox. Sandoval should have a great game. The two games that they played in Oakland, the Red Sox, it took a little while to get their bats warmed up. They gave up a late 3-run homer yesterday, and then they scored 2 in the 9th. And that 3-run homer actually was the reason, they lost the game, or they didn't give that up. They would have probably won that game. So the Red Sox, they come alive at the right time, and I see them definitely winning this game before they have to go to LA and play a great game, great series with the Dodgers. The Dodgers lost last night, so I'm sure we'll see. The Dodgers might be sleeping a little bit till the Red Sox come into town. They might be a little bit more awake when they come in, but we're going to take the Red Sox wanting to get that momentum going into LA for the weekend. So let's have a good day. Let's go 2-0. Brewers minus 1.25.